as well. Dan, the NCAA tournament came out, or NCAA bracket, excuse me, came out yesterday on Selection Sunday. We know now where Nebraska is headed. To surprise of nobody, they're heading down to Kansas City. They will take on Troy as a 4 seed versus a 13. And they'll get the winner of Vanderbilt versus McNeese State, by the way, or just the former artist formerly known as McNeese State. They're just McNeese now.
Yes, they are.
Put some respect on their name. I like McNeese in that game, by the way.
I like their head coach a lot. I like that big center that they have too.
Yeah, which
he could be good.
I don't know if they're not a worse matchup for Nebraska, just because we saw how Nebraska did against Purdue's bigs. And by the way, I tried telling you guys 2 weeks ago that Purdue's the team that nobody wants to see in the NCAA tournament. And don't let their falsehood right now fault you from thinking that they can't win a Big Ten championship, aka I told you so. With that being said, though, there's a lot of discussion about where Nebraska deserved to be or needed to be. And I thought they were right on the 3 line before the Big Ten tournament. I thought if they at least won one game, that's where they would end up. I didn't know if they would fall all the way to a 4, and obviously that's what happened. And I think Purdue going on to win the whole thing really caused that more than Nebraska losing in the in their first round of the Big Ten tournament. But there's a lot of discussion around the caravan that is going to be, not Alex Caravan, but the caravan that is going to be heading down to Kansas City to watch Nebraska play in this game. And there's a lot of people for a really long time that have been waiting for this moment where it felt like Nebraska not only could win their opening round of the NCAA tournament, but should win. And obviously in a 4 versus 13 situation, Nebraska will be favored and considered to be the odds-on favorite to win that game. Dan, I don't know, man. There's 18,000 seats in that arena. I would be very surprised if it's not close to 16 to 17,000 wearing red.
It'd be a little bit surprising if it wasn't. Yeah. Doesn't help that Troy is also a red-ish team.
Yeah, they're more maroon than scarlet.
It would not surprise me, especially after the graphic that Husker Twitter and the men's basketball Twitter put out today. Use that as your official note, folks. Fred Hoiberg signed it on his desk saying that you have to take work off on Thursday.
It's a statewide holiday. There's the interesting thing that could happen. I don't think it's going to happen because obviously Florida's pretty good. But what a world it would be if Nebraska does make it to the second weekend and the Iowa Hawkeyes are just sitting there waiting for them. I mean, it's a long shot. They got to get past Clemson, and then they'd have to beat the number 1 seed in their bracket, they being Iowa, to get to the Sweet 16. But if Nebraska does do what everybody's hoping they do, and they win game number 1 in the NCAA tournament, and then you run into a McNeese or a Vanderbilt, and you're able to get past them, we're talking about the second weekend in the NCAA tournament, and the black and the gold are on the other side of the court after upsetting the number 1 seed in the region, there's going to be a lot of people really excited for that game.
That'll be another one. And the caravan for that game will probably double, triple.
With that being said, I think Florida's the best team in the tournament, so good luck with that. When we talk about what this means for this team, though, and listen, there's 2 conversations to be had here because they have not won this game yet. I know nobody wants to hear that. There's obviously all that discussion about it. I really wonder what the conversation about this team, and I hate to put this out in the ether, and don't at me on Twitter calling me the Creighton guy. What the response and the reaction and the way people remember this team will be if they lose this game to Troy. I think that's the right answer. I don't think anybody wants to hear it, and nobody wants to talk about it, but there is that possibility out there. Now, I think I don't want to speak for everybody in this state, but I think for a lot of people, this has been the most fun they've had in a college basketball season. It'd be kind of hard to think otherwise, right? But I mean,
I would hope so.
Everybody really loved that Keisei Tominaga team 2 years ago, and everybody really rallied around the No-Sit Saturday team as well. But how do you feel? 402-951-1620. I'd love to know your thoughts. How do you feel about this team right now versus if they are not able to get it done? Like, do you look back on this season as fondly as you do in this moment, or as you did on Selection Sunday, where you knew your team was going to be already punched into the dance? Because that conversation may sound differently in August than it does in March. But I think on paper it's not even debatable. This is the greatest Nebraska basketball team of all time.
I mean, yeah. So I think there's something to the regular season success and how well it has gone.
Yeah, 20-0 is a good start
for Nebraska just this season in general. And I think, Fred got the extension fully based off of the success that he had in the regular season. Your first round exit, technically, in the Big Ten tournament does not bode well, I think, for their chances. But if they lose weekend one in the NCAA tournament to Troy, I think that will sour the taste a little bit. I can't remember what movie it is, but it's like, you were the chosen one. Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
With Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah. I'm like,
the minute I said it, I was like, yep, there it is.
You don't know the answer to this?
I literally saw the scene in my head as I said it. But it will be like, this was the chosen season. This was supposed to be the year that we make it through the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Well,
being said,
it's interesting.
Long shot that actually happened.
It's interesting you use that terminology though, Dan, because I think people forget that speaking of the chosen one, there was a certain former head football coach around here that was deemed to be the chosen one that lost to Troy. So
dirty
history can repeat itself. But no, I like Nebraska's draw. I think there's a lot of people in this tournament. We're going to get into this later in the show. I think there's a lot of teams in this tournament that have a right to be upset about the draw they got, specifically anybody in the Eastern region, because my God, what a murderer's row of head coaches to go through, and really blue blood programs. And the fact that UConn, UCLA, Michigan State, Louisville, Kansas, St. John's, Ohio State, and Duke are all in the same quadrant of a tournament. Listen, if Duke makes it out of that, then they're obviously the number one overall seed. Just give them the trophy.
Yeah.
What a run that's going to take. I like. Other than that, like we talked about this over the last couple of months, Dan, is what does it look like if we end up with the Elite Eight being all ones and twos again? And I've been on record, and I'm not going to start backpedaling, but I want to mention this. Outside of that East region, you can't convince me that anybody else has a tough out. Like Kentucky is down this year, and I think Santa Clara could win that game. So I think Iowa State just walks into the Elite Eight, by the way. And I feel the same way about Michigan because I also think St. Louis is going to upset Georgia. And then there, by the way, Akron basketball is maybe the most consistent program of any sport in the entire country because there they are again, by the way. But I don't think that's going to stop Michigan. I think Texas Tech actually wins that game, but the only outlier that I have for Michigan is if Nate Oates and Alabama can get to the Elite Eight. I think that's where they're going to run into a tough run. But BYU's hurt. Gonzaga's so inconsistent. We don't know if Miami can actually beat a team of substance, which is why I have Missouri winning that game, by the way. So I think Purdue walks the Elite Eight. Arizona is by far head and shoulders above everybody else in their bracket outside of Arkansas. And I think Wisconsin's a really bad matchup for the Hogs. So man, we're going to get to the tournament later in the show, but as far as the ones in the like, I hate to say this because I've been anti going chalk in March guy, but the way this like more than NIL, more than the transfer portal, the way they seeded this tournament, it leads so heavily outside of one bracket. To the ones in the twos. It's
so unfair because me trying to be the foil to you from this end of the desk over here.
Sure,
I'm trying to be like, oh well, it could be. But I keep on trying to look at Arizona's region and be like, oh, but it could be Arkansas. And I've hated everything that I've seen out of Arkansas and John Calipari this year, where it's way up or way down.
Outside of winning the SEC tournament. Listen, and how does that factor in too, right? That's another discussion is do the Purdue's and Arkansas of the world that went on a run falter a little bit? We'll get into all of that and more on the other side of the break. We got to talk about Dan's favorite topic of all time. The NFC North on the other side of the break when we come back. If you missed our opening segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. From neighborhoods all across Nebraska, one thing is clear. There is no place like our great state. And just like so many of us, Aloe calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, supporting proud traditions that matter most: agriculture, athletics, education, and community. And just like Husker game day traditions bring all of us together, Aloe brings Nebraska together with fast, reliable connections Head over to allofiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up today with the official internet, TV, and mobile provider of the Huskers. It's Allo Fiber. We'll be right back on the other side of the break talking about NFL free agency on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Spring is right around the corner, and the weather's going to warm up. Golf season will be back in Omaha. If you're looking to upgrade, you're looking for the course. Jerry Ryan, 78th and Dodge, is the place to be, and they have you covered with the incredible lineup of premium golf polos featuring brands like Johnny O, Mizzen & Main, Peter Millar, and the great Brax pants and from Roan as well. Those polos are built for comfort, style, and performance, whether you're on the fairway or head to the clubhouse. For over 50 years, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear has been dressing Omaha in style. Stop by 78th and Dodge and gear up for golf season today.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Well, it is a bitterly cold Monday afternoon, and it doesn't help that it's breezy outside. But fortunately, that breeze will taper off through the late evening and overnight hours, but temperatures will still decrease down into the teens to start your Tuesday. Now, Tuesday afternoon will be slightly warmer, as in we're in the upper 30s, but it's a cloudy day, and there is a very light chance of light snow during the midday hours. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
$6:17 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone. We're not a financial show, but we give you good sports advice. We're brought to you by Bellevue University. Stick around at 7:30 and hear from Lucas Gabriel, the head coach of Bellevue's men's basketball program, slated as a 14 seed in the NAIA national tournament. That didn't matter. They pulled off an upset in game one. How do they win in game two? Coach Gabe's going to tell us at 7:15. Before we get there, we got to get to the NFL and all the happenings that have gone on since the last time we were on, and no bigger movement, in my opinion, because remember, we were here for the last Max Crosby coming back to the Raiders conversation. Kyler Murray is headed to Minnesota, and I think it's really interesting that the Vikings have kind of taken the same approach that they took with J.J. McCarthy and just kind of said, hey, listen, we got two stud wide receivers, a pretty good run game, and a decent defense. Let's just go get a guy. And listen, I want to be very clear. I think Kyler Murray is head and shoulders above where J.J. McCarthy is. No, that's not a Kyler Murray short joke. But I think this is a really...
Because it doesn't work as a short joke, because J.J. McCarthy is significantly taller.
Yeah. Kyler Murray is significantly shorter than just about everybody on the planet. So I do think it's really interesting that they decided to go the way of let's go find another transitional quarterback to pull us into the future and maybe let JJ sit for another week. Maybe we just move on, because that's where it seems like this is trending towards. And listen, this just happens in the NFL. If it doesn't work out, if you don't seem to have it right away, the NFL is really quick to pull the trigger and move you on. See Sam Darnold as an example.
Yeah, I mean, I like that it's Kyler Murray because he hasn't given me any reason to think that he can win the big game in general. There's always like flashes.
Dan's a Packer fan for anybody that's joining us for the first time.
Yeah, there were always flashes of him being like a very good quarterback. But there's also a part of him that just is like always making horrible decisions.
Well,
unfortunately, his horrible decisions that he was making were as a direct result of his franchise also not really giving him a ton to work with on his side of the ball.
Which franchise famously isn't known for their ability to make good decisions either. But I really like, and the reason I'm talking about Kyler in a short-term sense is the fact that he only got signed to a one-year deal in Minnesota. So he's definitely got a proven factor, which makes sense for Minnesota to be able to say, okay, we don't feel great about this draft class because not too many people do. We're probably not going to win the Malik Willis sweepstakes, which kind of seems to have died.
The Dolphins won it.
Yeah. But I mean, before that happened, like there was like not a ton of excitement. Like there was all this talk about Malik Willis and he was like, oh, it's just going to be Miami.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like there was all this high, and I don't know if it's because of the Kirk Cousins of it all, or like the fact that Tua, like I think there was the talk about Malik Willis because Tua was still on the chopping block, and there was all these other starting quarterbacks that people could be excited about. And then it was just like, oh, kind of a footnote at the end of the day. Oh, by the way, Malik Willis signed with the Dolphins, even though 3 weeks prior to that, he was probably the most talked about player in the NFL at that time. But like the fact that Justin Fields is going to Kansas City to be Patrick Mahomes' backup after being a perennial starter in the NFL for 4-5 seasons now.
Yeah.
Kind of tells you that the market is, we just seem to be in this weird lull that happens like every 4 to 5 years where the quarterback market is just in a real dip. And then you get that one big draft class that has 3 or 4 guys that reset everything. Mm-hmm. And it feels like we're very much in the valley and not the peak of that market right now. And I do think it's really interesting that outside of Max Crosby, I think the biggest storyline from the free agency market is and we talked about this last week with Kenneth Walker also being signed by the Chiefs as well, that there also seems to be this renaissance in the running back committee as well, where there's being value put back on that position where it kind of felt like it was dying for a long time. And I think a lot of that is because of the drop off we've seen in the quarterback play in the NFL.
Yeah. And I think the one that we got to last week and then we didn't get to part, like 2B of it, was Max Crosby officially trade falls through with the Ravens. And then ipso facto, what ends up happening, the idiots in Cincinnati let Trey Hendrickson go within division, which, number one, just a dumb move. You basically said, hey, we've seen what this guy's been able to do for the past couple of years, and he's one of
he doesn't touch Joe Burrow in practice.
He's one of the greatest game-wrecking defensive ends that's in the league right now. Who should we deal him to? He's obviously not happy with us. Oh, or should we pay him? Nah, let's just send him to our division rival up there in Baltimore, who is pretty good on defense.
Yeah, famously.
And is only going to get better now.
Well, and I don't know, maybe when we talk to Bob Williams next week and ask him this, but like, I don't know from a legal standpoint what Max Crosby, no pun intended, if he has a leg to stand on with a lawsuit with the Ravens, because they clearly, this is clearly what happened. I mean, tell me if I'm crazy here, but they were going after Max Crosby, and then they found out they can get Trey Hendrickson, and they went, oh, no, thanks. We don't want the guy coming off surgery. We'll fail his physical because he's coming off of surgery.
Yes.
Which was, by the way, public knowledge for anybody that's just living was living under a rock for the last 6 months. But they were able to go get an equal, if not more valuable rush end at that position, and then told the guy that they already were signing to a contract that had to pass a physical that they knew he couldn't because he was coming off of surgery, and went out and got the quote better player. So if you're
all plausible,
I mean, it's pretty obvious in my opinion, but if you're Max Crosby, you got to be like, what the hell just happened? Like, I probably put my house on the market in Vegas and was getting ready to move to the Upper East Coast. I just there's got to be some way, and maybe the Bengals, or not the Bengals, excuse me, the Ravens have an out by saying, well, you just like it's in your clause, you got to pass this physical, even though they knew damn well he wasn't going to be able to.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the only possible option that they have as a defense is just to say, hey, he's not going to pass the physical, so we can't sign him to a contract. And, pick it up, put it down wherever you want to, leave it. It's a pretty crappy thing to do no matter what, because even a Max Crosby coming off of surgery, what potential and what talent is there. So maybe there could be some issues for the Ravens coming up here pretty soon, but
no.
You won the sweepstakes and you got Trey Hendrickson.
That's the other thing. Have you seen his deal?
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah, you don't even get a major cap hit for the first 2 years. He's only got $15 million on the books this year, and he's got $18 million on the books next year. So not only did Cincinnati trade Trey Hendrickson in division, a top 5 pass rusher, are not even debatable in the NFL, to their division rival, they gave him a discount for the first 2 years.
Yep.
Because instead of renegotiating his deal and paying him more under your salary, you're giving them the exact same deal that you would have had to pay if you just didn't renegotiate to them, where they have the benefit, and he knows he's going to get paid on the back end because the Ravens pay their players. So he's winning, and he's going to go to a better franchise, and he's going to make more money at the end of it, and you still lose out because you don't get anywhere near the value in return.
I think the real question that needs to be asked in all this is, when Joe Burrow becomes a free agent,
he's leaving, right?
Where's he going to go?
Yeah.
Where will he be?
And you have, I know everybody wants to have the conversation about hometown discount. Oh, and he's an Ohio guy, and he's only played for the Bengals. And this has nothing to do with the fact that he left Ohio State to go to LSU. This has the fact to do with he's had to run for his life every single season he's been in Cincinnati, and the injuries are piling up. And I don't think there's anybody in Joe Burrow's life that's not saying, dude, get the bag and get out, because you got to think about your long-term health. And if I'm Joe Burrow, there's no amount of money in the world that can keep me in Cincinnati.
And I would like to kind of sort of piggyback on it's not about the leaving Ohio State thing. It is about the leaving Ohio State thing, Jimmy. You want to know why it is?
Because he did it once.
Because he stayed at Ohio State for 3 or 4 years.
3.
He stayed at Ohio State for 3 years, didn't start at all during that time, and said, you know what? What do I like to do more than anything? Compete.
Yeah. Is he better than what we got, though?
I've competed at Ohio State for 3 years. Maybe I go to LSU, and maybe I try to win a national championship at LSU. And he did that. And so obviously, I think at some point you have to say, can I compete in Cincinnati? I'm a football player. My only and ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. And listen,
he had his one shining moment to get to that Super Bowl in his very first year in the NFL.
Very March reference to you. It was
and now it's,
by the way.
It was the second?
Okay. The other interesting thing about this is that contract runs out in 2029. That contract being Joe Burrow's.
Wow.
So he'll be 32. He'll be 31 going to be 32 at the start of the season when the contract runs out. These injuries keep piling up. Is Joe Burrow's worth going to be what it is right now? Listen, I think he's a great quarterback, and
it's not going to.
He would be the top. He would be the top number one undoubted free agent in the market in the world right now if he hit the market. But 3 years from now, if the injuries keep piling up and he's playing on one leg, that's why I think he's got to go, man. If they don't make wholesale changes, and I'm not talking about it at the coaching position, but I'm talking securing his safety on the offensive line and getting him some help up front, which is going to be difficult to do because you paid Jamar Chase, you paid T. Higgins, you're clearly not paying your defense, so there may be some ability to do that. And Cincinnati might have to do their best Washington Commanders impression and try to beat teams 43-42. But I just want, I legitimately am worried about Joe Burrow's safety over the next 2 to 3 years. You know what I'm not worried about? I'm not worried about John Walker being consistent, which he is every time he's on this radio program. Creighton has accepted an invite to the Crown. How does he feel about it? We'll talk to John Walker from the Omaha World Herald when we come back. If you missed our segment on the NFL free agency, Check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. If you're looking for authentic Italian food right here in Omaha, you've got to check out Pasta Amore. Hand-making pasta every day for over 40 years. And their incredible handmade pastas, their classic Italian entrees to seafood that is fresh. It's an amazing wine selection on the wall as well. Every meal feels like a night out in Italy, whether it's date night, whether it's a family dinner, or you're just craving some unbelievable Italian food. Pasta Amore delivers every single time. Stop by Rockbrook Village in Omaha or check out their menu online at pastaamore.com tonight. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald talking ball. We come back at 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams of Williams Law. If you or someone in your family is dealing with a legal issue and you need someone in your corner who knows how to navigate the system, Bob Williams is here for you. Criminal defense, civil cases, personal matters, even DUI charges, and he's also helped countless parents who are facing the stress of dealing with a child in legal trouble. The best part, Bob offers a free, no-obligation legal consultation so you can understand your options before making any decisions. When you need experience, honesty, and someone fighting for you, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com. Work with Bob and his team tonight. Serious representation matters when it counts. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here.
Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday.
Rail Car Modern American Kitchen.
144th and Blondo.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's 6:31 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Check out all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus this spring by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. John Walker from the Omaha World Herald now joins us on After Hours. Johnny Walks, how we doing?
Man, I'm good. For the most part, basketball season in and of itself is wound down. So that stinks, of course. But, for the first time since November, we all get to take a deep breath for the time being. Because,
but
boy.
Do we? Because Creighton's accepted the bid to the Crown. So we put you back on the beat.
Right. So that's not for a few weeks, though.
Sure.
Regardless if they played in the Crown or not, it's going to be a really interesting few weeks. The portal opens April 7th. Greg McDermott is mulling his future.
Yep.
And Creighton still has maybe a few basketball games left to play.
Hey, man, I got to ask you, because obviously guys like yourself, guys like me that cover the team on a day in, day out basis, get put in the grind too, maybe not as much as an athlete, but I got to ask, has this been one of the more taxing seasons? You've only been in Omaha for a couple of years, but just with it, maybe with Oklahoma State and your other beats, has this been one of the more taxing seasons for you too, personally?
Yeah, for sure. It's been really chaotic. When I was in Oklahoma, I was still covering high schools and stuff, and I help out with some of that at the World Herald, but I was half high school, half preps writer, half Oklahoma State writer. So
sure.
the Pokes were on the bubble, severely when I was down there. Like, Oklahoma State was the first team left out of the tournament during my time in Stillwater. So, like, bubbly till they weren't. And so that was, like, really, really, really interesting. And this one was chaotic for reasons, like, beyond belief. Like, you have all the late game theatrics, the starting power for, like, the starting center tears his meniscus in May or whatever it was. The starting power forward is out for the season 4 games in. It could be the coaches last year. You have all the late game theatrics. And now, like, here we are in this waiting period for a month before we have, you know, if this team has told us anything, these games in Vegas will not be normal. So, you know, we're going to end have a fitting end to the season, I think, here at the Crown in a couple of weeks.
Obviously, they had some really high hopes of getting a guy like Jackson Richardson committed, and then he ends up going to Alabama for, I believe, let me check my math here, 6 mints full of money, which is understandable. Where do you think Creighton really tries to focus their main energy in the portal / high school ranks going forward? I mean, it's got to start at the 5, right?
Yeah, it has to, and really, I think it might start at point guard because, like, Greg McDermott had not had a Ryan Kalkbrenner until he had a Ryan Kalkbrenner. You know
Fair
what
enough.
I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, we're talking about the program that rode the back of, like, Gregory Ichinike and, like, Christian Bishop, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Mac hasn't always had a 7'1" rim protector. And so, yes, if you have one, is it really, really, really nice? Of course, Jimmy. Of course it's nice. But we have seen how crucial a really good point guard is to Greg McDermott's system, regardless of who the 5 is. So you have to get a guy who's willing to come in and just fully immerse himself. And I'm not saying that anybody on this year's team did it. I'm just saying this is what they have to look for in the portal. A guy who's going to come in and fully immerse himself. And I don't know, is it a guy with 1 or 2 years who could help build up Catrell Harmon to eventually be the point guard? Like, maybe, I don't know. But I do know that the point guard is going to be crucial. Of course, the 5 is pivotal. You have to hit on that this offseason. I think the thing that this year, Jimmy, was like they literally spent a good chunk of this year's budget getting Owen Freeman. And for one reason or another, right, like the production was not what Creighton paid for, was not what Creighton expected, and certainly was not what Creighton needed. So, like, you have to hit on that position because we saw this year how present the lack of a rim protector was. And part of that was because nobody was going to fill the void of Ryan Kalkbrenner. And again, for one reason or another, part of that was the Owen Freeman situation playing out the way it did. So those two are huge. And then this team has to go get a 2, has to get a 3. Like, is that guy on the roster? Is it Fedor? Is it Hudson Greer? Is it a portal guy out there? I think they're going to be active in the market for a 2 guard. Like, they lose Josh Dix this year. You have to replace his 2-way production one way or the other. And I think the Jays do that through the portal. But you have to get a point guard. You have to get a center before you can do anything, really.
Yeah, and the Owen Freeman situation's interesting for a lot of reasons because clearly he's got 1 more year of eligibility left as well. But I don't think it's up to Owen. I think a lot of people are interested to see what Austin does and if Ty Davis is back next season. And if he's not, what does that mean for Jackson McAndrew? And I think those are all legitimate conversations. How much do you think this team going to the portal helps this staff keep guys in-house?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, of course.
Sure.
And the thing that I think Creighton has done so well over the past few years, and especially Jackson McAndrew and Ty Davis did last year, was these are like player-led recruitments. Right. Of course, the coaches have a part in this, right? But, like, you heard Jackson McAndrew and Ty Davis talk so much last offseason about how they were on the recruiting trail, essentially. When Creighton had kids on campus, portal recruits on campus, Jackson McAndrew and Ty Davis were showing them around. So, like, I think that doing that, Creighton finds a good blend of like guys they need and guys they want, right? Because that's part of it. Like Creighton doesn't have a history of taking like non-Creighton guys, you know, and that's how they've kept their culture intact for however long. So it's a double-edged sword that you have to navigate, but like I still think, and I'm in the minority here, I still think retention is so key in this era. Like there need to be changes made to this roster. We can all agree on that.
Sure.
Every single one of us can agree on that. But we're talking about it like we all just saw the struggles of trying to get 9 newcomers up to speed at the exact same time.
Good point.
Do you really want to go through that again? Do you really want to do that again? You know, that comes with a bunch of hurdles. We saw that this year. Creighton had so much success by having a core that it built around and developed, and then supplementing that with portal pieces. You know, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was, they had the core intact with Baylor and Trey and Kalk, and then they go add Stephen Ashworth, right? And then the year after, they have Stephen, they have Ryan, they have Jason Green ready to break out, right? So they go get Jemiah Neal and Pop Isaacs. And that, you know, for 9 games, it worked out with Pop, of course. And for Jemiah, it worked out all the way through the end of his senior year. So Creighton has been so good picking and choosing in the portal, largely because it has retained, it has developed its core that it brings in. And I think that's kind of what the Jays are going to try and get back to. They needed the talent. They had a lot of holes on the roster last year. So you brought in 9 newcomers, and it was what it was. But retention in this era is still key, Jimmy.
Who's the most important guy for you in that retention list? Is it Austin Swartz?
It would depend on his defensive jump over the offseason.
Good point.
You know, I like it's one of the wings probably, and I guess you could argue both of the wings now that they didn't get Jackson Richardson. Like Blake and Hudson kind of fill the same role, but they're 2 entirely different players who displayed their talents at different times. Like Hudson looked really good before the foot injury, right? And then his role was never the same when he came back. And Blake Harper's role fluctuated all season, but boy, is he talented. So like maybe one of those 2 guys, I think, and I think Basket Under Review, like Trilly Donovan's website, somebody from there wrote something last week about Jason Green. Like that's the key one for me.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, and I guess I didn't think about him because it's kind of hard to think about him leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My thinking is like, if you can't keep Jason Green, not that I think there's a strife or anything. I'm just saying, if you couldn't retain Jason Green, then that's like, who could you retain, right? Like he grew up watching the Jays. He developed with them. He stuck it out. Like I'm sure I'll be writing a feature on Jason Green a year from now, talking about how he, among others, is the ultimate Blue Jay for sticking through and developing in the way he did in this era of all. So like, yeah, I would say it's one of the wings because that is a position of need for Creighton. And so who's that going to be? Can you keep all the talent you currently have? Do guys want opportunities elsewhere? Does Creighton want both guys back? Maybe that depends on who the coach is, right? Like all of these things are in play. And, you know, we're just kind of along for the ride at this point.
John Walker from the Omaha World Herald joining us here on After Hours. John, I got to ask, and I don't know if your brain has allowed you to think about this yet because of where we are and all the things we just talked about. Have you thought about how much different the construction of this roster looks next year if Greg McDermott isn't in the 1 chair anymore?
Yeah, it would be really, really interesting because Huss would, of course, want the program, want the team to be his, right? But like, he respects Creighton, he respects Greg McDermott enough to not just be like, hey, yeah, everything you did, everything that worked for 16 years, like, yeah, bump that. We're not going to do any of it, right?
Sure.
So like, I don't think that's going to happen by any means. We're not going to see a night and day difference between the roster construction At least not initially. Maybe we do down the line, right? But like, not initially, I don't think. But I do think based on Huss's teams at High Point, like they want to go get the most athletic guy, 1 through 5, right? Like, go look at his teams from High Point, and they recruited at an elite level for that level, right? For that league, but they wanted to go get the best athletes. It almost seemed, Jimmy, as if they wanted athletes who could play basketball instead of necessarily basketball players who were also athletes. Like that sounds like an oxymoron, right? But that's kind of how I feel. That's what I seen from the outside. Yeah. I'm really interested whenever the transition happens, whether it's this off season, whether it's next. Again, who knows at this point? I'm really interested to pick Alan Huss's brain and see what his roster construction philosophy is going to be. Is it going to be drastically different? Like, can he recruit? And I'm not talking about the caliber. I'm talking about, like, you know, the player from Chicago is not necessarily wired the same as the player from, God bless Baylor Shireman, Aurora, Nebraska, right?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
They're way different players. So, like, is the kind of player that Huss could recruit at High Point different than the kind of player he could recruit at Creighton? Like, I don't know. And that's what I'm really interested to find out. Those are the questions that I'm really eager to have answered during the early part of the Alan Huss era, whenever that might be.
One of our loyal listeners in the After Hours Lounge would like to know who John Walker has winning his bracket.
In the Crown or in March Madness?
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say nobody really cares who's gonna win the Crown, but yes, in the NCAA tournament.
I have said since I watched them beat the hell out of Gonzaga in Vegas that Michigan was my title favorite. I think their positional versatility makes them a matchup nightmare for most teams. They are long and strong and athletic and just flat out good, 1 through 5. So if they play the way they have all season, really, outside of one outlier night against Minnesota,
very weird.
I really like Michigan's chances. Again, I saw them beat the brakes off of Gonzaga at the Players Era Festival, and I was like, yep, that's your national champion. So maybe Duke has something to say about that. Maybe UConn's a little ticked off after what happened in the Big East tournament final. Heck, maybe Rick Pitino's got another Final Four run in him. But
those three teams got to get out of that regional, though.
yes, a loaded region, an insane region. But I'm going with Michigan to cut down the net here in a few weeks.
The person that was asking who you had actually said, ask Walker who he's got. I got Michigan. So you are lockstep with the listeners of the After Hours Lounge. John, as always, we appreciate you. Really quickly, 9-degree temperature day today, 90-degree temperature day on Friday. What are you doing this weekend?
Man, I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow, to keep it a buck with you.
Fair enough.
Probably, if I had to guess, John Walker staple, I'll be at the movies.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to ask you next week what you're watching, get a review out of you.
See you, Jimmy.
That's John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. You can check him out at By John Walker on Twitter. Subscribe to Omaha.com. Buy yourself a newspaper today. If you missed that segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Spring is right around the corner, and that means it's time to make sure your HVAC system is ready for the warmer months ahead. Don't wait until it's hot in your home this summer. Head over to Controlled Comfort and schedule a maintenance appointment today. They'll make sure your AC is ready for the summer. Make sure that your furnace didn't take too much of a beating this winter. Head over to Controlled Comfort Heating and Air at controlledcomfort.com tonight. Controlled Comfort keeps Omaha comfortable all year round. We find out what's trending on social media and yell at the clouds when we come back at 1620 The Zone. Hey, but it's Jimmy Allen here for Recon Pest Services. You just heard me tell John Walker a minute ago it's going to be 90 degrees on Friday. You know what that means? Critters are going to be crawling. That's right. They're going to be coming out of the crevices and looking for somewhere to call home. Don't let it be your house. Head over to Recon Pest Services. ReconPest.com tonight. Let Bo and the team come out, spray your yard, prepare your home before an invasion happens. Head over to ReconPestServices.com tonight.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort, and we've been in business for 6 decades, and in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you, and that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. What to do this time of year in Nebraska outside? Well, there are stock trout and other fish to be caught. There are many different migratory birds to see. There are shed deer antlers to be found, and there are many trails to be traversed in Nebraska's 250-mile fitness challenge. Get more ideas for stepping outside online through the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Hey, are you planning a spring wild turkey hunt? Many of us are. Then we need to remember safety first at all times when we're in the field. We need to be doubly sure of our targets and our backgrounds before we fire our shots. And never, ever wear the colors of the wild turkey gobbler: red, white, blue, and black. Always plan your hunt and hunt your plan. Be safe. I'm Greg Wagner.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough, but if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
But on the first hour of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. Head over to bellevue.edu. You can register for classes, get the ideal college experience this fall. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling can be done online, and live sports right on your campus. Check out bellevue.edu for more details tonight.
J-Man just said, need the corporate card from McMaster.
Yeah, Maddie's been traveling the world.
Yes, he has.
Congratulations, young man. Was he back today?
Yes, he was.
Well, welcome back. Hopefully, home was good. Matt McMaster was on boots on the ground out in Chicago over the weekend. A lot shorter trip than he probably wanted it to be, but
yes, it was.
I guess welcome home to Matt. But it's time for the social media soundbite because, as John Walker pointed out, college basketball season is over. The NBA is not.
Yes, it is very much still going on, and we got what some are calling and what inarguably is one of the all-time achievements in professional basketball. In the fourth quarter, with a minute and 16 seconds left at the line, is Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat. Gets 2 foul shots, sinks them both, and ends his night with 83 total points in a single game, bringing him to number 2 for the second most ever on the list. Those buffeting him above, Wilt Chamberlain with 100, and just below him, Kobe with 81. Would you like the soapbox first, or shall I?
Go ahead and go first, because I'm responding to something in the night shift, so go ahead.
Perfect. So, number 1, the NBA is broken. The NBA is 100% broken.
Preach, my brother.
Not because Bam Adebayo was able to score 83 points. I would believe it if you were to tell me who did it. Bam Adebayo, he's got the post moves, he's got the shakes, he's got the shimmies, he knows how to do it underneath. But I remember when Kobe was going for 81, because it was like early phones, early texting. I remember my dad ran upstairs and like woke me up when Kobe Bryant had like 38 points or something. And he was like, this is the only time you get to stay up for a West Coast basketball game. He was like, I think Kobe Bryant is about to do something that nobody has ever like put to film. And like the ESPN app, the people who were supposed to be like basketball, we're all about the ball game here. Not a single notification of like, hey, Bam Adebayo's got like 40 points in the first half right now. You should probably tune into whatever channel this is on. None of that. If you would like to get to your portion,
I want to take.
I've got plenty.
I want to take a different counterpoint, but I want to mention something here because I think he's listening right now. Michael Severe and I have been having this conversation for a long time about boxing dying. I think basketball is dying more than boxing is at the professional level, just because of everything you just said, Dan. Like, I worry more about that sport than I probably do any other sport and its longevity. But with that being said, I dare anybody listening to the sound of my voice to go back and watch the ferocity in which Toronto defended Kobe going for 81.
Yep.
They were attempting to stop him. And I dare you to go watch Bam Adebayo, who, to your point, got to the free throw line a ton, and tell me those look even like comparable feats of achievement.
Oh, I had his stat line up the other day. I'm going to pull up his stat line again because it's ridiculous.
Bam's?
Yeah. It's like the sheer, just like general stat line that it was. I'm going to find it real quick, and then I am going to compare.
He shot 42 free throws, right? Am I wrong at 42 or 43?
You are not wrong.
Yeah.
You are not wrong at all.
Listen, you've got to make him. Say whatever you want about him getting in the line. I'm not trying to shortchange anything Bam Adebayo accomplished, because I probably couldn't get 11 at the local YMCA right now, let alone score 83 in an NBA game. But it looked like, to me, that Washington was almost trying to help him get there. Like, they were playing off of him. Sometimes it looked like even trying to speed up their offense to get him the ball back. And in my opinion, by the way, an NBA record 43 tries. So not only did he set the record for points in the modern era, but also attempts at the free throw line. Fill in the LOL here. Like, I am not a professional athlete. I've never played basketball at the NBA level, and I don't even want to attempt to sound like I could. But if you go back and watch, I've seen better defense played in a 6th grade pickup basketball game than what was being attempted in that Washington Wizards NBA Heat NBA game. Now, with that being said, you still got to hit him at the free throw line. You still got to get there. You got to put in the work. I don't want to take anything away from Bam Adebayo. I think his performance was incredible. Mm-hmm. My problem was with the other 9 guys on the court, because it just didn't look good.
And so, if you follow me on Twitter, which I know none of you do,
that Dan's the manager,
just because I responded to another local radio show here in town when they made friend of the show, friend of me, Ravi Lula.
I was like, who are we not allowed to talk about?
I don't know. I always get so weird about it.
Sure.
We're
shout out to Ravi Lula.
I was responding because
he was recently on this radio station calling a basketball game. I think
he was indeed.
Him
and Mr. Damone Benning were talking about, the Bam Adebayo game immediately after it happened in the morning. And I loved all the points that they were making. And I thought of one more thing that it just annoys me about the Bam
about
Adebayo.
Ravi Lula?
No,
Oh,
not about Ravi. I was like, Ravi, these are all great points. Here's the one thing that I think should be brought up too. And he was like, agree. If you play a full 42 minutes as a big man and you score 83 points and you take 43 shots and you miss 23 of them,
by the way,
and also you miss a decent amount from the 3-point line as well, and you only have 9 rebounds,
something's off there, isn't it?
That's a little bit of a shame to me. And that's what really sort of bothered me about it, because I could imagine like someone, for example, like Shaq scoring 50 points in a single game and probably having 20 rebounds as well. I know that's not all Bam Adebayo's game is, because he's very
hybrid. I agree.
He's a more lengthy big, but still, if you are taking at least 10 layups and you miss 5 of them, 5 of those should be your rebound in your own hands.
The math, Dan. I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's just, it's one of those. That's the one that bothered me. And then the only category that he doesn't beat Kobe Bryant in from amount taken is field goals.
Yeah.
And his effective field goal percentage, Kobe's was on the night that he scored 81, was way better. And he barely took any threes, and he barely had any free throws. And you know what's even better? He was a 90% free throw shooter that night. Yeah, I had to redo that math in my head.
And I think the point that you're trying to make there, Dan, is Kobe's was more about quality and Bam's was more about volume.
Yeah.
And to the shot making portion of it. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. And like, and Eric Spoelstra was specifically asked about it, saying that, were they intentionally trying to feed Bam to get to 83? And he was like, yeah, absolutely we were. You've got to at least try, right? Which, listen, that's the mark of a good head coach and somebody that understands his team. And obviously Spoelstra is one of the best. But I think that's kind of the difference there too, is kind of feel like Bam was spoon-fed 83, where Kobe kind of went out and took 81. A little bit of a difference there. If you missed the social media soundbite tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Does your business post on social media every single day? Do you not have time to do it? We have the solution for you. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com tonight. Dan and his crew will set you down, give you the roadmap to success, and engage your ideal client online with ads that convert to sales. How do I know? They do it for me at Sinovation on a daily basis. They can do it for you today. Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com and get up to date on what you need to be doing with your social media with Dan and his crew. We'll buy or sell on the other side of the break. 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. I was just talking to Nick over at AX Plumbing yesterday. Why? Because there was a van at a house 2 doors up from mine. I was having a conversation when the house was for sale, and they said, hey, we listen to After Hours with Jimmy Allen, 1620 The Zone. We decided to call you to get our plumbing fixed before we sell our house. That's right. Nick and his crew came out. They replaced the entire main line from the street out to the house, because AX Plumbing has the ability to do that. If you're dealing with a collapsed pipe, or maybe the tree roots have gotten so infected into your pipes, maybe you live in my neighborhood, it seems to be a problem in Papillion, head over to axpservice.com, because AX Plumbing is right there in Papillion. They can help you out. They're locally owned, locally operated. Check out axpservice.com. Work with Nick and the crew tonight.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room, or relax on our shaded patio.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone in your community, or just taking a deep, calming breath when you need it. Nice. For mental health resources, check out loveyourmindtoday.org. At loveyourmindtoday.org, you'll find information that may help you get through a tough time. Things like tips for dealing with stress, how to navigate difficulties like financial worries, anger, substance use, and more. You can also find real stories of how people navigated their own mental health challenges. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Top of the second hour on 1620 The Zone. Dan and I just had the most awkward, probably the most random conversation.
Yeah, we both have sisters.
Yeah. Have you ever done your sister's laundry? 402-951-1620. Would love to hear from you.
Tell us your horror stories.
Yeah, it can be bad. Dan Campion has been tasked with writing Buy or Sell tonight.
Whoopsie.
Hopefully there's nothing about Dan's sister's bra. We don't know which sister it would be, but there's nothing about Dan's sister's bra in our Buy or Sell tonight. Dan, what do you got?
There is not. But you know, something that we do need to talk about is the Omaha, Nebraska
of it all
to Players Championship pipeline. Cameron Young, a man who at one point in time.
Could we at least wait till it's above 30 degrees outside to talk about golf?
Okay, fine.
Go ahead. You're fine. Cameron Young, continue.
At one point in time, thought that he would never, ever play professional golf. Took a quick little trip out to Omaha, Nebraska to play in a Monday Q, tied for 13th, got invited to the next weekend, and the next weekend, and the next weekend, and now he's got his second PGA Tour title on the Players Championship.
Awesome.
Buy or sell. Omaha, Nebraska. It's the place that dreams come true and champions are born.
Golf town, baby. I buy. No, I think it's incredible. I mean, there's been it'll be the guys that come through the Corn Ferry Tour or individual players. And we've talked to a bunch of them in this room at the high school ranks. I think there's a ton of talent in that sport in this state. And I think a lot of it's because of the way, I don't want to give anybody too many flowers, but I think the way that golf is treated in this town, whether it be the indoor facilities or the outdoor facilities, where they put an emphasis on improving your game, not making it a recreational event. I think that's a lot of the reason that we see the talent we do. So I absolutely buy in the city of Omaha.
Yeah, especially, I mean, just from personal experience in Omaha, it seems every course around town has a really good buy-in to have a decent professional. A lot of people put a lot of money, time, and effort into youth leagues and getting kids interested in playing golf.
Fair point.
And then I don't want to toot our horn too much as a
Toot,
state,
toot.
but the Nebraska Golf Association, the NEGA, members of the PGA of America, probably one of the lowest entrance fees to become a member of the Nebraska Golf Association, and to upgrade that to the like full PGA membership to have all the benefits that you can have for that. Fun fact, they send you a rule book every year. That's very fun to keep in your bag and to pull out on the golf course when you're with your buddies. They think you're a huge, cool guy, but it's one of the cheapest in the country. And they, all the benefits that you can get from it and all the treatment, especially for juniors, and the opportunities that they have to be around the game of golf here in Omaha is kind of second to none, especially with the Corn Ferry Tour and all that being out at Indian Creek every year and being pretty accessible. It's a good spot.
What else we got, Dan?
More up your alley, Jimmy. Actually, this is right up your alley. The NBA is finally putting it to a vote this year. They're exploring that expansion, baby. They want to go to Las Vegas. So congratulations, LeBron James. You obviously are going to have your team ownership once you retire, once that happens in 2028, 2029.
Ever a doubt.
But more importantly, they're going to do right. That's right, folks. If you know what I'm talking about, the NBA is going to make their way back to Seattle.
Yep.
And they will be the Supersonics once again. Buy or sell, Howard Schultz can finally be off the NBA's S list.
No, he still absolutely deserves to be there. But I think it helps his case a little bit that Oklahoma City worked out the way it did. But with that being said, I am a little surprised that when it comes to expansion, the NBA is looking. I thought that there was a possibility that Oklahoma City may be a trendsetter and be the way for the smaller markets to open that door up just because of the success from an attendance standpoint. And now you can put on-court success with that level as well. Now they have had an NBA championship and another finals appearance. But it looks like obviously the big city TV market is going to dominate. It just feels like there's this bubble around Las Vegas, doesn't it? Like they're getting everything.
Yeah.
They can't get everything, right?
Well, it's always so. I always find the things that, and we've talked about this in the past with the Golden Knights, and then like kind of versus the Raiders and the Aces, and versus like now what will be the Athletics, like making their way over there. Las Vegas has this weird thing about new to us or true to us.
That's a great point.
And they truly enjoy the fact that they get a brand new team.
They love the Aces and they love the Golden Knights in that town. They don't love the Raiders. They like the Raiders. They don't love the Raiders.
They do not.
And Vegas has the unique ability to be a destination city for other teams. And I think that works out in hockey. I think that works out. It definitely works out for the NFL.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because you're only getting 8 of those games, right? So fans could circle dates on the calendar for their team to come to Vegas, and you can make a Vegas trip out of going to see your team play. There are way too many basketball games for that to be the case. There are definitely way too many baseball games for that to be the case. I don't think that these teams being in Las Vegas, the NBA and the MLB being in Vegas, is a long-term investment because I don't think they're going to get the ROI on it they want.
So I think the NBA has a better ROI on it than kind of shoehorning an MLB franchise into it.
Does it because the A's suck so bad, or do you actually feel that?
No. So because this would be a brand new team to Las Vegas.
That's a good point.
I think the team and the city have the chance to adopt it a little bit more and to put their own identity onto it.
Fair.
Whereas with the A's, you're still coming in with like, these were the Oakland A's.
And they're bad.
And this is the second time you've just shoved an Oakland team into Las Vegas and said, this could be your thing, right?
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, I don't love it. It just kind of feels like Vegas is buying everything up. I don't know. It's a very weird feeling. What else we got?
It always feels like they're buying everything up. That's kind of Vegas's whole thing, though.
Question number 3. Get one more and pick the best one that's readily available because we got to get to the open bar.
The best one that's readily available, Ohio State is going to face TCU in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
The Ohio State?
The Ohio State University. Only a 2.5-point favorite over the Horned Frogs are the Buckeyes. Buy or sell, TCU can pull off that upset with ease.
I buy that the wrong team is favored in this situation. Give me TCU to win this game. I know Ohio State kind of took Michigan to the brink in the Big Ten tournament, and everybody is kind of riding that bandwagon right now because they were kind of able to maybe do the unthinkable and beat their rival, and Michigan just kind of pulled it off at the end. I think they kind of spent their whole gas tank on that one last-ditch effort. I think TCU absolutely wins that game. That's a good call, Dan.
One more real quick.
Okay.
Because I did remember that we didn't make it to this in
Ohio State, TCU, who you got?
I have TCU.
Okay.
Mainly just because
Go Frogs.
I always rock with places that my friends have gone to college, and I've had multiple friends go to TCU.
You like horny things?
Go Horned Frogs.
Okay.
Also, they do the throw the horns up, but it's like the little stunted one. I love the little stunted one. It makes me laugh. We didn't get to this in NFL free agency talk, but AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah, we did not.
Still sort of looking for a home and being shopped around.
Question mark?
There was a rumor that he was possibly going to go to the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. What a trio that would be, huh?
They've dropped out.
Yeah.
But now,
what's wrong with AJ Brown? Can we talk about that for a second?
They think he's going to go to the Patriots.
Well, no, I guess Denver's been the newest team that's been thrown into that conversation.
Good Lord.
But yeah, it just kind of feels like nobody wants him. And I want to know why. It seems like we're missing something, right?
I wonder if people are reading into a lot of
him reading on the sideline.
Yeah, the reading on the sideline, the kind of.
I have that book in my car, by the way.
Space between him and Jalen Hurts that always seemed just to kind of sit there. The fact that he's supposed to be wide receiver 1, but Devontae Smith is getting fed so well, and rightly so. He's also probably a great candidate for wide receiver 1.
AJ Brown didn't win Heisman Trophy.
But it just seems like AJ Brown doesn't care about being an Eagle anymore.
Sure doesn't seem like he wants to be there.
And
That's for sure.
Makes you wonder if he's going to bring that attitude to a new city.
I don't think he will. I think he's actually going to be a better fit wherever else he goes. I think he might be hurt, and we don't know it. That kind of feels like what we're dealing with here. What else we're dealing with your questions. When we come back, it's an open bar. If you missed our buy or sell segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Spring is right around the corner. You need to make sure your HVAC system is ready for the warmer months ahead. Don't wait until you're sweating in your own living room. Head over to ControlledComfort.com and schedule a maintenance appointment with the team today. They'll make sure that your AC is ready for the summer, but also make sure your furnace didn't take too much of a beating this winter as well. Check out ControlledComfort.com for more details tonight. Controlled Comfort, keeping Omaha comfortable all year long. Show opened up to you. We come back at 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. If you're looking for the ideal date night on a Monday, maybe it's a long day at work, you just want to take your lovely wife or your lovely husband out for dinner and grab drinks, you're not going to get a better Italian experience than inside Rockbrook Village at Pasta Amore. They've been hand-making pasta over 40 years, daily, fresh, for you to go straight from their pasta making to your table, right out of the kitchen. Head over to PastaAmore.com to get more details on their menu or go and grab dinner and drinks tonight.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Well, it is a bitterly cold Monday afternoon, and it doesn't help that it's breezy outside. But fortunately, that breeze will taper off through the late evening and overnight hours, but temperatures will still decrease down into the teens to start your Tuesday. Now, Tuesday afternoon will be slightly warmer, as in we're in the upper 30s, but it's a cloudy day, and there is a very light chance of light snow during the midday hours. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV Newswatch 7.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
It's free as your questions. Get them in right now. 402-951-1620. You can get us at After Hour 1620 or leave us a comment in the night shift. We will read your question on air. It is time to turn the show over to you. And we start with Eric at Scottsdale. Dan, we'll always go to somebody outside of the normal listening region first to get their questions. And Eric wants to know, we talked about this with John Walker a minute ago, is the east side of the regional as brutal as it looks in the NCAA tournament? No. I think it's worse. I don't like. Listen, it's been the talking point of the majority of the talking head shows around most of the major networks. I know it's been talked about a ton on this station today. A lot. The fact that UCF is the 10 seed in that group too. Like, I think they got the best 10 seed. I think they got the best 2 seed. I think they got the best 3 seed. I think they got the best 4 seed, 5, and 1 seed. Like, Duke, you should have lost another game, man. I don't know what to tell you because getting out of that situation is going to be so tough.
Well, and it's if you really like basketball.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not complaining.
That east side of the bracket is going to be where your TV will probably stay tuned to for most of the tournament.
Yeah.
Up until, a certain point when you have to watch a different team play basketball. But the fact that in round 2, you could have UConn and UCLA and Louisville and Michigan State, Kansas and St. John's and TCU Duke or Ohio State Duke, it's like you're just setting yourself up for a murderer's row of fun games. Also, what I don't think we have pointed out yet, 2 and 7 in that East region make it against each other. You've got the battle of short, angry men or the battle of the balds, whatever you want to call it. It's 2 guys who are going to scream at the refs the whole time.
Yeah, listen, I think UCLA is in for an upset, though. I like UCF in that matchup. Mick Cronin's not going to be very happy about that. Not a question in the open bar, just a question for you, Dan. I guess this is a roundabout way of asking it because Greg on Facebook wanted to know who's your dark horse in the tourney, and I'm going to change my answer up a little bit to Greg's question, not apples to apples, but what's your thoughts? You got somebody you like?
I'd see dark horse is kind of weird because I feel like just like in general, I'm picking a favorite, but North Carolina is kind of always one of my dark horses when they get into the tournament, and it always seems, like, oh, they're on a 6 line. So North Carolina is probably not that good. They are that good. They definitely deserved a 6 this year because they're not the best of the ACC or the best of the field, but they're going to do some damage.
Well, yeah, and if you believe the powers that be, it didn't seem like VCU was necessarily in that tournament. going to be in the tournament if they hadn't if they didn't win their tournament championship. But I don't love North Carolina in that matchup. I think they win it. I just don't. I'm not willing to say that I feel super comfortable with them winning it. For me, and I kind of talked about it, and that I thought St. John's was going to be super sneaky this year. I mean, people obviously love Gonzaga this time of year, but for me, if we're talking now, it matters, right? Is a dark horse to win the whole thing, or is it a dark horse to go on a run? And if we're talking about just going on a run, there's a team that I think is really sneaky, and I think it's awesome that the West Coast Conference got 3 teams in this year with St. Mary's, Santa Clara, and Gonzaga. I think Kentucky is on upset alert, and don't be surprised if Santa Clara is able to overcome Iowa State if they can get past Tennessee State as well. I really like Santa Clara to win, to maybe be that team that makes it to the second weekend. Also, the size that High Point has. I'm not saying they can go on a run and win the whole thing, but if you're going to talk about a team that can upset a 5 and a 4, and I think those are 2 of the highest regarded 5s and 4s with Wisconsin and Arkansas, respectively, I think High Point's size and athleticism gives them a shot. I'll either get past Arizona, but I think they got a chance to make it to the second weekend. Those are my dark horses, not to win the whole thing, but to have a chance to win 2 games in Santa Clara and High Point. But as far as back to your questions, we'll switch to football for a minute because we haven't talked a ton of college football. We specifically haven't talked any Nebraska football tonight. Tim on Facebook wants to know, what is an unacceptable season for Matt Rule this year with this schedule? And that kind of seems to be the point for everybody is, well, it's a really tough schedule this year. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. For me, an unacceptable season is anything less than 7-5. And the reason being, that's kind of where this coaching staff has set the bar at. That's kind of been your floor and your ceiling the last 2 years. So anything less than that is not acceptable for me, in my opinion. Dan?
So if I'm just looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's really hard to find more than 5. You're going to strain your
brain. You want it to
about
be 6. 5 wins is, I think, my top end of unacceptable.
Okay.
Of like completely and utterly, like I would heartbroken.
Sure.
Want to
think you're in for a real long season.
Find out what the satellite at the top of this building looks like and all the other things that it could possibly be. But
the guy drinking the bleach meme. Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
7 wins, 8 wins is kind of where I think this team could actually be. It just depends. Illinois, Rutgers, and Iowa. It's like, if you can't beat Indiana, Oregon, Washington, and Ohio State, you at least have to beat Illinois, Rutgers, and Iowa. And you have to beat Iowa in like very, very, very convincing fashion.
Hot topic or hot take for me. I don't think any of the 14 seeds in March Madness get a win. A 14 seed in the NAIA tournament got a win over the weekend. We're going to talk to the head coach of that team, Lucas Gabriel, from the Bellevue University men's basketball program. Will join us next. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620 The Zone. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Spring is right around the corner, and the weather is warming up. It means it's time to get back out on the links. If you're looking to upgrade your look out on the course, Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge has you covered with the incredible lineup from premium polos featuring brands like Johnny O, Mizzen and Main, Peter Millar, Roan, and the all-new Horn Legend. Check out Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear for comfort, style, and performance. Whether you're on the fairway or in the clubhouse for over 50 years, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear has been dressing Omaha in style. Stop by 78th and Dodge and gear up for the golf season tonight. Lucas Gabriel, the head coach of Bellevue University's men's basketball program, joins us next. 1620 The Zone.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort, and we've been in business for 6 decades, and in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you, and that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Lucas. Okay. 7:28 on a Monday night here on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online. Live sports right on your campus. And you can see this gentleman walking around campus as you attend class. Lucas Gabriel, head men's basketball coach at Bellevue University, now joins us. Dan, will you make sure his mic is on since he switched chairs on us? It is. All right, fantastic. Coach, I got to ask, obviously, NAIA's version of Selection Sunday was a couple weeks ago. You're watching the scrolling down at Bellevue University. You guys are on the selection show. You see the number 14 pop up next to your guys' name with a 24-7 record on the season. Yeah. There's a lot of people that felt like you guys got maybe the worst 14 seed of all time. Your thoughts when you see this pop up?
Yeah, we were surprised, I guess is the way to say it.
Sure.
But we didn't care. We knew that we just wanted to be in the tournament, and we knew based on the wins that we've had this year, we've beaten Carroll twice, we beat Montana Tech twice, Montana Western, beating Dakota State twice. All very Montana Northern we've beaten twice.
Sure.
We had a lot of
who's who of your
wins.
conference. Yeah.
Yeah, and Montana Tech and Carroll are two of the best teams in the country.
Both nationally ranked when you beat them, correct?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
right. And so we had confidence that we could beat anybody, and we had done those. We had wins on the road, we had wins at home, we had won anywhere. We had taken long trips, so we felt confident that we could go into any region and be successful. And I guess that's the way it worked out.
Hey, Jade, you can come step and grab the mic. Jade Phillips is with us tonight, too. We'll get to him in a minute. He's got an MVP to talk about. We'll talk about that in a second. Coach, I got to ask, because obviously we'll get to him in a minute. You don't got to stand over the mic yet. I know you don't like to really talk to the team a ton before tip-off. You tend to walk the halls and get your game plan together. But I got to ask, when you guys are in a situation where you know that you're in the tournament, you're getting ready for a game in the first round, and the possibility of a familiar face is waiting around the corner, and we'll get to that in a minute. What was the conversation in the huddle like before tip-off for this one?
Oh, well, if you go, I'll take you back a little bit further. We had gone to the conference tournament, and we didn't play well. We went to our conference tournament and lost in the first round.
See, I wasn't going to bring it up, but go ahead.
So, and right when that game ended, I told the guys, we're about to go to nationals. Mm-hmm. We're going to be in a very similar environment. We're at a neutral court, and we're going to play, and in those type of games, a lot of times teams come out, there's a little bit of nervousness. There's a little bit of, you want to feel your way out into the game, and because it's a big game, you can have that kind of uneasy feeling in the stomach. And when we lost to Northern, we came out like that, and Northern came out and just punched us in the face.
Sure.
And they weren't nervous, and they just came out and said, we need this win. Our season's on the line, and they popped us. And so I told our guys, we're going to be in this situation again. Are we going to come out nervous again, or are we going to come out swinging?
Yeah.
And so we came out swinging this time. So that was great.
And I hope you don't mind this bringing up, because we had a really tough conversation, just the two of us, off air.
No, it's okay.
After last year's season, and you talked about the makeup of the team that you wanted to have this season. And I got to see this team up close and personal a bunch, calling games down at Bellevue University, and almost word for word, the way you described the way you wanted to build this team came out on the court. Does that combined with the fact that you knew that you're in a multi-bid league this year make that conversation in the tournament a little more free and easy to have because of the move out of the North Star Athletic Association into the Frontier, and the ability to say, okay, we can let one or two slip here or there, and it's not as big of a deal to our end goal at the end of the season?
I mean, certainly and the North Star was a one bid league, right?
Sure.
So for our viewers out there, it's like being in the horizon, right?
Yeah.
There's one team that makes the NCAA tournament. The Frontier, our new league, is like being in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You know,
4, right? You guys got
yeah,
4
we got
teams?
4 this
Yeah.
year, so I guess it's not totally like the Big Ten, but
Yeah.
but
Close
you know,
enough.
But yeah, it's a you know that you don't need to win the league to get into the tournament. It's like it's like playing the SEC or the Big 10 or the Big 12, right? You're going to get multiple teams. So before the conference tournament even started, we knew that we were going to the national tournament,
Right.
and it definitely takes a little pressure off. It makes the conference tournament feel different. It takes a little bit of a pressure going off that, you know, our ultimate goal is to win the national title. It's not to win the conference tournament.
Right.
And certainly we wanted to win the conference tournament. We didn't go there and say, well, this game doesn't matter. It mattered. And it hurt when we lost and we were upset, you know, and that was one of the things we said, remember this feeling, remember how we feel, because we get, luckily,
Yeah,
we play in a really good league and we're going to get another shot at this. Let's make it count this time. And so I thought, in a way, losing that Northern game, I think really helped us play well in the national tournament game because we went to the film and we got back to the basics.
We talk a ton about recruiting when you come into this room and why people should play at Bellevue University, but I guess I'm going to throw you a little bit of a softball question here.
Yeah.
$55 million facility built at the top of the hill for your on your campus. You guys have joined a conference where you can get multiple invites from your league into the national tournament. Does that make it easier to recruit to Bellevue?
Yeah, I think the new gym, new facility definitely makes it easier to recruit. I don't think though that it's the difference. I don't think that you're going to come here just because of our gym. I think at the end of the night for a lot of these young men that I recruit, it comes down to how good of a scholarship you're going to offer.
Okay.
Right. And it's still going to come.
Maybe if a kid's coming from Arizona, you get them here when it's warm too.
Yeah, and if you get, but I mean, if you just say, hey, we have a nice gym, but you don't offer a good scholarship, they're not coming.
Yeah.
Right now, I will say this: if I offer the same scholarship that Langston offers,
sure,
and then I show them the gym and say, and you get to play in this gym, in this weight room, in this locker room, this facility, yeah, that cherry on top. Hopefully, that's the difference maker. So I definitely think it helps. I don't think it's everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk to the player you brought with you, and it's Jaden Phillips. Jaden, go ahead and step up and grab the microphone. I told you this last time I talked to you, man. I'm so proud of you this season. Obviously, last year, taking the year off to take care of your grades and get that all settled, and you came out this year. You win the MVP in the conference of the conference in the tournament. What does it mean to you to take last year off, come back this year, and have the success that you guys have had?
It really just means a lot to me, honestly.
That microphone goes all the way up, man. You ain't got to bend over. You can pull it up there.
It's all good.
Yeah. We had a 6'11" kid in here the other day. He was fun. There you go. All right. Yeah. What does it mean to you to have the success you had this season after taking last year off?
It really just means a lot to me. All the hard work me and my teammates put in the off season, and just the sacrifices we made just to come into this season ready and prepared to do the things we need to do to handle business.
What was it like for you to leave? You're from Arizona, right? You're
from
California.
California.
Coming from California to Bellevue, Nebraska, where it's 9 degrees outside today, 90 on Friday. We won't talk about that though. But what was it like for you from maybe a culture shock or a being away from home moment to come to Bellevue University? Why was it the right fit for you?
Honestly, it's really just a slower slower pace place.
Sure.
More than like California is, of course. And obviously coming here to Bellevue, obviously you could just focus on basketball more and just your academics and then just grow as a person on and off the court.
Sure. What has it meant for you to be a part of this team this year and what being able to get to the national tournament? What has that experience been like for you personally?
The experience for me has been really surreal. Obviously playing a season here with Coach Gabe, winning the North Star regular season and the conference tournament, and then going to nationals and losing to Langston, a top team that season. And being able to come into this year and compete in a better, more competitive league, playing against top-ranked opponents every week, and having big assignments every week to go out there and guard the best guy or do whatever I need to do to help the team win.
He wasn't not going to mention that part. He's guarding the best guy.
Facts. Gotta throw that in there.
He did a lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
man, it's hard not to see guys like RJ and yourself and the work you've done in the weight room and how much you guys have changed your body. Was that a conversation that was happening in the locker room about just being bigger and being healthier and putting the work in the weight room to make it show on the court in the offseason?
For sure. The assistant coaches definitely made sure we're in the weight room, getting right with Coach Jake. We've been lifting hard with him each and every day throughout the offseason, just getting stronger, just getting our bodies prepared for the long season that we have ahead. We play back-to-back in this league, so you just have to be strong and competitive.
We're catching up with Lucas Gabriel, the head coach of the men's basketball program at Bellevue University, and talking about what's next. and Jaden Phillips, one of the stars of the Bellevue program. When we talk about what's next, obviously you guys are playing a team you've played twice. You guys get Rocky Mountain next. 0-2 on the season against these guys. They're a 2 seed in this tournament. What does this look like from a preparation standpoint going into a third matchup against the same team?
Well, we know them really well, right?
Yeah.
And we lost to them. I think we gave up an offensive rebound, and they kick it out and hit a game-winning 3 at their place.
Hopefully Jaden wasn't guarding that
guy. He may have been on the closeout, actually, unfortunately. But he wasn't guarding them, but definitely was involved in the play. It's just a tough play. Tough bounce. They hit the 3, we lose. Then come down to our place. We're up, I believe, 1 with like 45 seconds left. And, Amari Nesbitt makes it just a ridiculously tough shot. And that kind of sealed the deal on that one as well. So we played them to a possession both times. We know them really well. But I think when you play a team to a possession, we feel very confident that we can beat them. We know we can
takes one bounce.
Yeah, we need one more bounce go our way, and maybe we can make a few bounces go our way if we do a few things differently. Which we had a pretty long film session today, just kind of looking at all the places where we could have been better last time we played them. And so it's a game of inches, right? And so we looked at the film today and just saw inches all over the place for us. So it's right there for us. We can do it, but they can do it too. They're a good team, and we're not saying that we're for sure going to win, but we know it's possible.
Yeah. Jane, I want to talk to you again for a second, because I talked to Gabe about this a second ago, but take me back to the end of last year. The season goes the way it does. You guys know you're getting JJ back. RJ's sticking around. You don't know Ahmed Bonham's coming in yet, but you're going to get back out on the court the following season. What was the message from the leadership in the locker room like from either yourself or guys like JJ or guys that were sticking around the program? What did that message sound like about making sure the way last season ended didn't happen this year?
Honestly, just the guys that came in this year, Jermaine Halliburton, Matt Mathick stepped up, Dang Jaw playing minutes, Connor Moore, Elijah Sherwood. Those guys just stepped up big for us this year, and just they really just followed the seniors really this year, and just had a competitive edge, and just knew that obviously we have to play at a higher standard. We play at Bellevue University. We're supposed to win games. So obviously we just came into that this season.
Get this guy in the marketing department down
there. It's true.
Coach, where's the game against Rocky Mountain being played at?
Kansas City Municipal Arena, the old historical municipal arena. So it's a great venue.
Where can people get tickets if they want to come down and support? Do you know?
You can get them online through the NAI website, right? Or you can buy them day of at Municipal, right? You can just go straight there and buy it. But game's at 7:30 p.m. next Friday at Municipal Arena in Kansas City. It's one of the most historical venues of college basketball in the country. So it's going to be awesome.
I read that. I was just making sure that was, I was thinking of the correct spot when
that's where it is.
That's awesome. Well, if you're looking to get out and support local, get out and support Bellevue University, head down to Kansas City next Friday. You're going to see a great basketball game, a third-time matchup between Rocky Mountain and our Bellevue University Bruins. That's the head coach, Lucas Gabriel, his men's basketball team playing in the NAIA National Tournament. We're joined tonight by Jaden Phillips. We appreciate you guys coming in. Good luck, and hopefully we're talking to you in a couple weeks about another game.
Thank you, Jimmy.
If you missed our segment with the Bruins tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com tonight. It was brought to you by Railcar. If you're looking for the ideal brunch spot this weekend, Railcar is the place for you. But maybe you're a little bit hungry before you get there to the weekend. Primetime prime rib dinners Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, 144th and Blondo. Railcar is the place to be. We'll be right back. Give me your closing arguments of the night right here on 1620 The Zone.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Railcar's happy hour is here.
Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Railcar's incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday.
Railcar Modern American Kitchen.
144th and Blondo.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. And sometimes that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Stress builds up, you have trouble sleeping, maybe your mind is racing and you just don't feel like yourself. So what do? We get help. Lots of people are struggling with their mental health. It's more common than you think. The good news is there are people in our community who are here for us when times are tough. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world, so we don't feel so alone. One thing you can do is visit loveyourmindtoday.org for simple steps you can take to find the right solution for you. Whether it's hearing stories about what other people are going through or finding the resources we need to navigate the stresses in our lives. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
The Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council present the story of Tom and Levi.
Tom is the smartest man I know. He's been a professor at 2 major universities, been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, he told me that he was having problems in his classes. I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. And he was telling them that he was doing it as a favor to them, but I think in reality, he just wanted to get out of there. I was really starting to worry because I saw something was wrong.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me, and my love for him was just immense.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Closing time on 1620 The Zone for the After Hours Lounge. Jimmy Allen and Dan Campion with you here, wrapping it up on a Monday. Just a little bit of spring cleaning duty. We are not going to be on the rest of the week because of the NCAA tournament, so hopefully we can catch all the tournament games right here on 1620 The Zone. But it is time for our closing arguments. Dan Campion, you want to go start us off?
I would love to. Let me just hit finish and publish so that our good friends at Bellevue University can listen to the radio replay.
I'm sure Gabe and those guys appreciate
of
that.
Lucas Gabriel and Jaden Phillips on the radio. You know what, Jimmy?
I don't.
You don't always listen to me.
Very rarely.
But you know who does listen to me, apparently?
The night shift.
The NCAA Women's Selection Committee.
Oh, maybe they listen to the After Hours. If the After Hour show.
This might be one of my better takes, apparently, I guess. Because not but 2.5 weeks ago, I said, hey, NCAA Selection Committee, if you are smart, you will let UConn and UCLA be on exact opposite ends of this bracket. And, well, they listened to me the whole way through, apparently, because they said, yes, we will make sure that UConn and UCLA can meet up nowhere else but within a national championship. And this year, I got to say, I think that is a possibility, although Duke, on the women's side of things, while their men's team gets a lot of the praise and a lot of the shine, that Duke women's team is pretty good. And not to mention Ohio State is always a good candidate. Surprisingly, this year, I've been trying to, keep up a little bit more to pay attention to the women's tournament as well.
As you mentioned, the committee is a big fan of yours, so you have to.
Yeah. And Vanderbilt, surprisingly this year, as an SEC team, one of the better teams that's going to be in this field. So the men's field is very well set and very well stacked. The women's field is a lot more even this year. And everyone's going to make a big deal about it. Yes, Iowa is on a 2-line. But more importantly than that,
they don't have Caitlin Clark anymore.
The Nebraska Cornhusker women, they're playing in to get the chance to play Baylor in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So we wish luck to the blonde-haired shooter that we've had in this studio 4 years in a row, Britt Prince.
Yeah.
Let's go.
My closing argument of the night is also tournament adjacent, but it's on the men's side of things. Because as I've stated a ton of times on this show, my biggest thing with sports is we are supposed to determine who a champion is, and that is all sports is supposed to be. Who's the best team, and how do they get to the path to win their title? And if you tell me that when your schedule is put in front of you and you go 31-1 and you only lose in your conference tournament, and the best we can do for you is an opportunity to get in, I don't know what we're doing anymore. And listen, I understand that Miami of Ohio played a really bad non-conference schedule. Yes, they beat Trinity of Illinois 129-49. Yes, they beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 111-84. Yes, they beat IU East 109-65. All of those things are true. But why do we love March Madness? Why do we love the NCAA tournament? Because the team that's not supposed to win sometimes pulls off an upset and we deem them Cinderella. You know who that didn't happen to one time in the regular season this year, even in conference play until they got to the MAC tournament? Miami of Ohio. And the fact that we don't put them anywhere near a 1 through 10 seed in this tournament based on those results where you put 31 teams in front of them and they beat them all, and you tell these kids that, hey, sorry about your luck, good luck trying to get into play and to be an 11 seed in this tournament. Oh, and by the way, if you do end up getting there, now you have to go up against a team like Tennessee. This is a crying shame, man. The fact that this team has been relegated down to a play-in game despite going 31-0 in the regular season is an absolute joke. I think the committee should be ashamed of themselves, and I know the Bruce Pearls of the world out there are rooting for this team to fall flat on their face and lose to SMU or get demolished by Tennessee when they get into the tournament. But why do we even play the games then? Roll the ball out, let the SEC get 10 teams in, let the Big Ten get 10 teams in, and just let everybody else fill in the blanks later, and hopefully the ACC can pick up the scraps.
My question would be, is Santa Clara that much better than Miami of Ohio?
I got Santa Clara getting to the Sweet 16, so they might be. But
fair enough.
With that being said, did they have a better performance during the regular season than Miami of Ohio did? Absolutely not. And there's a certain contingency of people out there that will go, well, they got the same exact respect that that NC State, Texas, and SMU got, and those are Power 4 schools, and they have to play their way in too. Yeah, you know what they didn't do? They didn't win their regular season conference championship. Miami of Ohio did. Now, does that matter? No, you have to. If you're not an AQ school, you've got to be able to punch your ticket by winning your conference championship. And yes, they did allow Miami of Ohio to get into the tournament technically because they're in the play-in situation. But I think it's an insult to what they were able to accomplish this season. I think it's an insult to that team. And I hope, listen, you know what? I'm going to go on record saying it. Outside of Nebraska, if Nebraska's not able to win the national championship, I'm rooting for Miami of Ohio to win the whole thing. I think it would be an incredible. I think it would be incredible to see. It'd be a great middle finger to the powers that be. And if they can, maybe not even win the whole thing, make an Elite Eight, Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four run. I think it would be a huge coup for them. And yes, I think it's a very tall hill for them to climb. But I think they earned the right to be a 4 versus an 11, a 5 versus a 12, whatever it may be. I think they earned the right to do that. And the fact that they've been skipped with the ability to have that easier path to get there. And I think for the narrative side of things, Wouldn't it make more sense to put them on that line against a conference champion to say, well, if they weren't good enough to win their conference title, but this team was, and we think they're on the same playing field as them? Wouldn't it make more sense to put them on that line against a more formidable foe?
I would think so. Even like, this is like super craptastic to say, because I agree with you 100%, Jimmy, that they should probably be at least a 10 seed or higher.
At a minimum a 10 seed. If the play-in is a joke.
If you're going to disrespect them like this, and you're going to say, well, you might have went undefeated through the regular season, but you lost in your conference tournament. So we're throwing you a bone by letting you be in the play-in. Then you know what? Here's what you do. Make them a 16 seed. Yeah. Make them a 16 seed and make them play one of like the best teams in all of college basketball. If you really if you want to embarrass them this bad, and this is your only point, is to be like, look at this. We let them be a play-in team and they weren't good enough to beat SMU. Want, cry all you want, Miami of Ohio fans. Make them play Duke. Make them play Arizona. Let them have that automatic first weekend of the college basketball tournament game.
And that's why I started off the conversation with sports is about determining the best team and how they get there. Because this response, putting them in the play-in game, is 100%. It has nothing to do with their strength of schedule. It has nothing to do with the fact that they scheduled a weak non-con. It has everything to do with the fact that they're not going to grab the attention of the eyeballs that a Tennessee, a Syracuse, a whoever may have when they get to March and bring the fan base with them. It has nothing to do with the body of work that they put in. It's about the eyes that they can draw from an attention standpoint to the TV product. But I'm going to tell you right now, if Miami of Ohio goes on a run, if they beat Tennessee and they're playing in the round of 32, they're going to be one of the most watched teams in the country in this tournament, because people are going to want to see if they can do what many people were telling them they couldn't and be successful in this tournament. And I hope they're able to do that. If you missed any of the show tonight, want to hear our closing arguments, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Bob Williams of Williams Law. If you are someone you love and your family's dealing with a legal issue, you need someone in your corner who knows how to navigate the system. Bob Williams handles criminal, civil, and personal matters, even DUI charges. And he's also helped countless parents who have been facing stress of children dealing with legal issues as well. The best part, Bob offers a free, no obligation legal consultation. So you have to understand your options to understand what you're dealing with when you get to court. And Bob is going to sit you down and explain that at no additional cost. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com and get serious representation when it matters the most. For Dan Campinen, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Stone Cold Steve Austin Day. Oh, yeah.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Howdy, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Nebraska Outdoor Update. What to do this time of year in Nebraska outside? Well, there are stock trout and other fish to be caught. There are many different migratory birds to see. There are shed deer antlers to be found, and there are many trails to be traversed in Nebraska's 250-mile fitness challenge. Get more ideas for stepping outside online through the Game and Parks website, outdoornebraska.gov. Hey, are you planning a spring wild turkey hunt? Many of us are. Then we need to remember safety first at all times when we're in the field. We need to be doubly sure of our targets and our backgrounds before we fire our shots, and never, ever wear the